Georgia Tech, trying to get another home victory to improve their standing in the ACC.
Teams split their regular season meetings last year. Elmore and Dunn tapping at it, controlled by Clemson, and we are underway. Clemson at 8-7, 1-2 in the ACC. Georgia Tech 11-4. Consecutive wins over Virginia and Pittsburgh. Day Harris whips it cross court to Kramer, the three-point threat. Pass batted over the end line, stays with Clemson.
And we see right now Georgia Tech is really trying to hone in defensively in this first possession, trying to make it difficult for Clemson.
Now, but Dunn got a little too close on that inbounds pass, and Dunn whistled for the foul. Clemson trying to shake a 7-game road losing streak, Fallon. Winless on the road this year in 3 trips.
And that's tough, but you know, you just need that first one. I think it could change the tide, the momentum for Clemson.
Oh, the alley-oop off the inbound. Whitehorn misfires. Herbie Whitehorn soaring up off that side out of bounds. As we take a look at Georgia Tech's starting 5, 4 of those starters averaging more than 12 a game, including the freshman Augusta Naita. And Tonie Morgan bounces in deep to Augusta Naita. Pushes it heavy, rebound tucked down by Robinson. Got a Clemson's starting 5. Amanda Butler really upgraded the experience on her roster out of the transfer portal, like Mackenzie. Kramer, the Lehigh transfer, knocks down the 3, along with the Pitt transfer, Dejanette Harris, joining the McDonald's All-American Whitehorn, Robinson, and Michaela Elmore. This can be a very dangerous three-point shooting Clemson team. Augusta Naita trying to match it, leaves it short.
Yes, Clemson can, and you know, they can score in bunches, averaging around 75 points per game. That has not been an issue for this team this season.
Whitehorn lines up a 3, and it's a 6-0 start for the Tigers.
They're coming out hot. We already saw Kramer. That was a player that Coach Fortner had concerns about, and then we just see on that last shot what Whitehorn can do as well.
Now, Fortner did tell us at her shoot-around they've had issues running out to three-point shooters this year, including in Sunday's win, although Dunn gets the Jackets on the board. No surprise, Kara Dunn. 3 straight games with 20-plus points for the sophomore from Dallas, Georgia. Kramer runs pick and roll with Elmore. Hedged hard by Dunn. The kick back to Robinson, looking in low for Elmore, well read by Blackshear. She gets the tip. As you look at Amanda Butler, 6th season on the bench with the Tigers. Coming off a 19-win season a season ago that ended in the Super 16 of the women's NIT. Kramer has 1-3 early. Can't get a second. Rebounded by Morgan. Tonie Morgan, the best guard rebounder in the ACC, 5th overall in that category, trying to shrug off the defense of Harris. Blackshear with the skip to Morgan. Gets the blow by on Harris. And floater is heavy. And Clemson saves the inbound.
Yeah, that was a good save by Whitehorn. She was falling out of bounds and was able to maintain the ball.
Whitehorn. One more to Harris. Got it poked out of her hands on the dribble drive. Georgia Tech almost threw away the outlet pass, but that is Georgia Tech defensively. They love to be active in the passing lanes.
They do, and those active hands turn into deflections and steals like we just saw in that last possession. They've done a great job ever since that FSU game to really hone in defensively.
Augusta Naita has struggled with her three-point shot coming in. The freshman 2nd in the ACC in three-point percentage, and she's 0 of 3 from the floor.
Well, you know you're going to hit those freshman woes. She started out so hot in non-conference play, but once you get into ACC play, it gets a lot harder.
Just 4 for her last 19 from 3. That 3 horseshoes out for Harris. Dejanette Harris, a team-high 20 points against Florida State on Sunday as that entry pass was kicked. Nell Fortner struggled last year, just could never find cohesive offense, and their numbers were near the bottom of the ACC. Much more consistent night in and night out on the offensive end for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it has, especially with this starting lineup. They're still having to tweak some things with their bench, but they're coming with full firepower in this starting 5.
Jackets had won 9 straight over Clemson before falling at Littlejohn Coliseum in February last year. Morgan around the baseline, misses the reverse, and is tapped last by Blackshear.
And you see Morgan early, a little frustrated, but trying to get her game going, trying to be aggressive, to see what she can get at the basket. But, you know, Clemson likes to play a lot of zone. They like to switch up their defenses, so that's going to be a tough call for her tonight to read those defenses to get her team in the right offensive set.
And that zone has forced Georgia Tech into a 1-of-6 start. 6-2 Tigers. Harris throws over the double team. Whitehorn wide open. Rims off the three. Battle for the board. Tips loose to Augusta Naita. Oregon not much of a three-point threat. Augusta Naita is. And you can't give her too many opportunities because before long, it'll look like that.
Yeah, Augusta Naita, she found her spot and was ready for it.
Yeah, that's a travel the other way on Whitehorn. Augusta Naita comes in 38% from three.
We see it right here. As soon as she gives that ball to Tonie Morgan, she sets up so she can get to her spot. And it's money.
Fired up early. The freshman from Lithuania, averaging 12.5 points per game. Morgan on the dribble drive. Double clutch scored and the foul. That is Tonie Morgan in a nutshell, Fallon.
That is. I mean, that was something 2 games ago. She struggled a bit when they were playing UVA at home and finishing at the rim. But we see just the natural ability. We know she has the athletic ability, but able to take the contact and finish at the rim.
Took the hit from Ano Inyang. Her first, team's first. Tonie Morgan coming off her second straight double-double versus Pittsburgh. 15 points, 12 rebounds, added 8 assists for good measure. It's an 8-0 Tech run. They've taken their first lead of the night. And Butler is not shy about going deep into her bench. A couple of subs here during the stoppage. Whitehorn guarded by Augusta Naita. An entry. Inyang got the seal, and a foul called on Tech.
She did. She took advantage of that mismatch she had with Tonie Morgan guarding her. It was a nice switch on defense, but a good read by Inyang to get positioning down low.
Morgan's first, team's second. Clemson once again playing without Maddie Clues, their Miami of Ohio transfer, unavailable. As Inyang catches the inbound. Kramer for 3. Got it to go.
Almost was a 4-point play. Kramer can light it up.
She was 2 for 12 from 3 her last 2 games. A couple of threes early, and the Tigers back in front. Ueda with the touch pass to Augusta Naita. How about from this corner? Short. Rebound ricocheting loose. Ripped away by Blackshear. Right back down. Into the low post. Off the window, Dunn doesn't fall. And pulled away by the Tigers.
Yeah, I was surprised Laredo didn't take that shot. She was wide open. Pass to Kira Dunn, who had 3 players on her down low.
And Ueda was 3 of 3 from 3 in the win over Pittsburgh as Inyang can't get the turnaround to go. Clemson 3 of 6 from 3 to begin. Morgan surveying. Shovels away to Blackshear. Morgan splits the defense. Drops it off to Blackshear. Oh, Blackshear misses at the doorstep.
Man, that was a nice little handoff. Blackshear has to finish that one.
You know, sometimes that zone, it causes you to be rushed in situations that don't demand it.
Right.
Here's Elmore, open for a 3. Off the iron, and Blackshear warding off Inyang. They'll call the foul, but will it stay on this end? It will. The foul is on Dunn, and to the disbelief of Nell Fortner, that is an early second foul on Tech's leading scorer, Kira Dunn. Takes us to time. Clemson 9, Georgia Tech 8. All 9 of the Tigers' points have come via the triple. That shoulder fake and a lethal 3 from Mackenzie Kramer. Augusta Naita matching.
When you're missing Kira Dunn in the lineup for your offense, that's a tough hit.
Aisha Wan Adanaz, the senior, takes Dunn's spot out of the timeout. 7 of the Tigers' 9 field goal attempts have been threes. They're 3 and 7. Off the cut, tipped away. Morgan got a hand in the passing lane. Leaves the Yellow Jackets in steals. Tough turnaround, Augusta Naita no good. Battle for the loose ball. Blackshear draws the foul on the Tigers.
And that's a great rebound by Blackshear. That can hopefully get her offense going. Just being aggressive on the boards. We know she has a natural knack for locating the basketball when it comes to rebounding. So let's see what she can put up in those numbers tonight.
Blackshear was handcuffed by foul trouble in Pittsburgh, had a season-low 4 points, but last year in the win over the Tigers, 19 and 8 with 5 steals. Augusta Naita with a hand in her face. It's been a struggle early for Augusta Naita. Oh, the stick back though by Won Adanaz. She is not much of a scorer, but she is a rebounder.
She is. And that's how you can get some easy points. Just crashing the boards. That's some good size that Coach Fortner is able to put in off the bench in Won Adanaz.
Harris kills her dribble and unloads it to Mattiot. Sliding off the screen from Robinson. She posts on Augusta Naita. Great pin, misses the turnaround.
And that was great help on the opposite side by Tech to kind of alter that shot by Robinson, and she's able to miss it.
Augusta Naita, again, no good on the pull-up, and you see the frustration etched on the face of the freshman Rusna Augusta Naita. She might have to pick up that scoring slack with Dunn nursing foul trouble, but that makes Augusta Naita 1 of 7 early.
Yeah, she's taking some shots. Besides that 1-3 ball she hit in the corner earlier in the game, she has struggled ever since.
You don't need to remind Amanda Butler's former stop Florida about her scoring ability. 30 points. The ACC SEC Challenge versus the Gators, including 6 threes.
No, she was amazing in that game.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech forces the turnover.
And that's the key. That's something Coach Butler said, that her team needed to limit turnovers. And you see right here, Robinson trying to dribble against Blackshear. Good help, and she's forced to make a difficult pass on the baseline. That's great help defense by Tech.
We've already forced 4. Great segue, Fallon. How about your keys to the game, speaking of?
Yeah, perfect with the keys. So we talked about for Clemson, they have to box out. Georgia Tech's a good rebounding team and limit the fouls. Do not keep Tech on the free throw line where they can get easy opportunities to score. And Georgia Tech, they have to defend the 3. We already see early what Clemson can do in shooting it and get some transition baskets. Clemson likes to play that zone, so they need to see if they can get out and run so they don't set up their D.
Reaching foul on Noeto. Her first, team's 4th. Here's Mackenzie Kramer. 1,200-point score in her career. First team All-Patriot League last season at Lehigh, the native of St. Michael, Minnesota. 11 points all in the 4th quarter of that loss to Florida State, but helped make things interesting for the Tigers late. Always going to have a hand up when she catches.
Well, this offense for Clemson, they have firepower. That's one thing they're not lacking.
Whitehorn, no good around Augusta Naita. Pries it from her, and a foul called on Whitehorn. That was great defense by Augusta Naita, and then draws the foul on Whitehorn.
Well, when you play defense like that, then you can put up some shots, you know, doing it on both ends. But Georgia Tech, they have started this game out pretty well defensively.
And they've held the Tigers at 3 of 11 shooting inside of 2 minutes first quarter. Augusta Naita's double teamed in no man's land. Throws it across the lane to Noeto. Not sure how she saw her, but Noeto cashes in.
That double team wasn't so great if you can get that type of vision to make a pass, and Noeto wide open in the lane.
And Nell Fortner told us that what makes Amanda Butler's zone so difficult, because there are so many things that they can do to sneak up on you, trap in the corner that you're not expecting. They were able to navigate that, but Mackenzie Kramer answers right back.
Well, I didn't even know she could do the 2 dribble step. I mean, we got to watch out for the 3-point. You run her off, she can still take a couple dribbles and burn you.
She's got 8 first quarter points after 11 in the 4th quarter versus Florida State. Catch and shoot, Blackshear inside the lane, gets the home bounce.
And that was a good pass. That's an opening or a gap that Georgia Tech's going to find in that zone. So they need to locate Blackshear because she can knock down that shot.
Kayla Blackshear, the junior from Orlando, Florida, has nice touch from the elbow. 14-11 Tech. Elmore will try from the elbow. Doesn't get that bounce.
Woo, Tonie Morgan sky for that rebound.
He can be a one-woman fast break. Hang, cross, teardrop, barely scrapes the rim. Clemson's turn to run. Robinson in deep on Won Adanaz, around no good. A hard landing as well by Robinson. It's a scoreless first quarter for Amari Robinson. Both teams fell and struggling to find their offense.
They are, and it seems like both teams have taken the star scorers out of this game so far. Georgia Tech doing a good job on Robinson to start.
Less than a second differential, shot clock and game clock. Morgan in the stare down with a Rouch. Peels around a couple of screens, throws in low, Blackshear, challenged well by Whitehorn. Digs it out, and we have a travel called as Noeto tried to set her feet for the charge, and with 2.9 seconds left, Tech will have the final possession.
And that was a good job by Naredo. It was a close call, but she gets to travel. Georgia Tech gets another possession. Good read. Looked like they were about to go running, but you always got to look. I'm surprised that was called. Her feet weren't set, but she did travel with it.
A 5th Clemson turnover. And Sydney Johnson subs in for the first time. So will Amani Freeman, the 6'2 graduate student, replacing Whitehorn. Johnson to inbound. Feeds Morgan. A 1-dribble pull-up. Banks it in.
And me over here shaking my head, but hey, I guess the bank's open this afternoon or this evening.
The point that Nell made, even though a lot of players have logged some heavy minutes and have heavy responsibility, it's still by and large a young team.
It is. I mean, more than half the team is either a sophomore or a freshman. You look at those numbers. So, you know, it's a teaching moment, but you're seeing improvement based on those 2 wins since that Florida State loss.
Georgia Tech outscored Clemson 8-0 in points off turnovers in the first quarter as they throw it away on their opening possession. Jackets going zone. Amanda Butler not the only proponents of the zone in this game. How about that flip shot? Up and good by the graduate student Amani Freeman. Under the arm of her defender.
Yeah, that was a good shot, especially against that zone to find an opening.
They swarm Blackshear, who skips to Augusta Naita. Still no Kara Dunn after picking up her 2nd foul at the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. Morgan with a drive-in pitch to Johnson. Graduate student from Boston University. Shot clock at 5. Morgan on the drive to Won Adonas from the mid-range. No good. Rebound Robinson. And that's the kind of razor-wired zone defense Clemson's capable of.
They are, but Sydney Johnson got several touches. She has to be aggressive.
And meanwhile, a 3 the other way by Amari Robinson. We make so much of the fact she's shooting 58%, but she's 42% from 3 this year.
Right, and that's a drastic improvement from a season ago. Feeling more comfortable shooting that shot, and she's knocking it down.
Makes it a 1-point game. Augusta Naita, good from 3. Answers right back to the same spot where she drained her first one.
That must be the hot spot. But it's a good-looking shot, big shot for Augusta Naita, especially when Clemson was making that run.
Freshman from Lithuania, played prep ball at Montverde Academy in Florida. But blocked by Blackshear, and she clears the rebound. Blackshear, a really athletic presence, and now it's Morgan slicing coast to coast.
Man, she's just too fast. Once she's going downhill, there's nobody that can really stop her.
Elmore with a trail 3. Rims no, rebound Blackshear.
And that's not the shot Coach Butler wanted. She had Kramer open in the corner. She wanted to get the ball to her for that open 3.
Georgia Tech back up 6. They lose sight of Blackshear. Pump faking on Elmore. Lays it up and in. And a foul. Now that zone, like you said, Fallon, it was not set. And that allowed Kayla Blackshear to come open with a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, and if you're going to play zone, you got to get back on defense. I mean, you see this lob pass. Kayla Blackshear takes a couple of head fakes and just gets it up there. And that was a great look by Tonie Morgan, finding Blackshear to give her a good look, and Blackshear just takes her time and is able to get the and one.
First foul on Michaela Elmore, the junior. Blackshear has struggled during Georgia Tech's win streak. But so far, Blackshear's got 4 points and 6 boards. A 22-point outing versus Florida State. Back rims the 2nd. Tipped on the run to Whitehorn. Shut off by Noedo. After the Amari Robinson 3, Georgia Tech has gone on a 7-0 run to stretch the lead to 8. Quiet start as well for Dejanette Harris. Transfer from Pittsburgh. She and Robinson only combined 5 points.
Right.
Robinson, double team, steps through it, flips it in.
Oh, big time move by the 5th-year grad student. She just took her time, and we see why she's so important to this Clemson offense.
She's now 8 points away from 4th in school history in career points. She's also 5th in school history in career rebounds as they tag Harris for the foul. That's a 2nd on Dejanette Harris. Clemson's 2nd leading scorer.
Yeah, Day Harris is the 2nd leading scorer. And since conference play has started, she's averaging around 18 points a game herself. A little frustrated to start this one, but having to go to the bench to regroup.
Scoreless so far after going 8 of 11 from the field with 3 threes against Florida State. Ariadna Termes comes in for the first time. 6'5" freshman from Spain. Augusta Naita off the inbound, drills it.
Well, it looks like now she's starting to get her rhythm.
And it's all from that same spot. Whitehorn with the jump pass. Robinson for three. Off the mark. Torn away by Wonatanaz. Tech looking to get numbers. Morgan. Oh, with the hezzy in the lay-in. That was almost Shamgod-esque for Tonie Morgan. It forces a Clemson timeout.
Man, all I can do is shake my head on that, but that was nasty.
Woo. Get off the tracks. Tonie Morgan got the loose ball, got going, and got right past Morgan with the blow-by and the bucket. 10-point Georgia Tech lead.
You cannot give up around 70 points per game to your opponent and put yourself in a good position to win.
But when you have so many willing three-point shooters, a 10-point deficit can dissipate quickly. Whitehorn over the zone. Robinson spot up three. Rebound tipped up, controlled by Termes. Jackets have made their last 5 field goals. They've stretched this lead out without Kira Dunn. Wonatanaz catches the tip.
Smart move by Rusna to pull it out, reset.
Gets the screen from Termes, rims the three. Wonatanaz hits the floor, and a foul called, and that'll be a second on Michaela Elmore, Clemson's leading rebounder.
And that's going to be tough. We talked about Dunn being on the bench with 2 fouls. Elmore is going to have to sit down with 2, and they already have Harris on the bench with 2.
This is where that depth comes into play for Amanda Butler's team as Eno Inyang, the 6'2" junior, comes in. The inbound thrown away. Just no angle to connect on that pass to Augusta Naita.
Yeah, Tonie Morgan has to do a better job with those types of passes.
It's only Georgia Tech's 3rd turnover. Clemson annually forces among the highest rates of turnovers in the ACC. Robinson isoed at the elbow. Whitehorn puts it on the deck on Noedo. Noedo turns her back, forces a reset to Kramer. Couple of shoulder fakes, pulls the trigger, off the mark from 3. Rebound snatched by Morgan.
But I love it. That was a great move by Kramer to create that space, give herself clear vision at the rim.
4th in school history at Lehigh in 3-pointers. That accuracy is carried over to the ACC. Termes off the flash. Biding her time, off to Augusta Naita. Augusta Naita, 8 points. One-legged step back elbow, no.
Tough shot.
And you can tell she's practiced that.
Yeah, no. She's capable. Just a tough shot.
Thanks for Rusna. Augusta Naita, 3 of 11 from the floor, but still a 10-point Tech lead. Midway through our 2nd quarter. Rouch with the skip. Robinson. And she takes a bump from Noedo. Foul on the sophomore from Gijón, Spain, Inés Noedo.
And Noedo was frustrated by that. I think she thought she may have cut off that baseline, but instead gets called for the body.
It's actually Noedo's 2nd. Forces her to come out. Johnson takes her spot. First foul of the quarter against Tech. Laxier also comes in, spelling Termes. Last year, Georgia Tech had a streak of 8 consecutive winning seasons snapped. 11-4 coming in and trying to move to 3-1 in the ACC. Kramer's had the hot hand early. The freshman Augusta Naita clings to her. Rouch with the shot clock at 7, kills the dribble. Swings to Kramer. Kramer with the cross, the kick, Rouch, no good on the 3. And the carom comes out to Johnson, and a foul called on the Tigers. This could be a second on Inyang.
And that's definitely not good. You can't have 2 of your host players with 2 fouls having to sit the bench. It's causing Coach Butler to make a big decision bringing Freeman back in. And we see this right here. They get tied up. Wonatanaz gets caught up with Inyang, and Inyang's just looking like, I'm just trying to get out of this, but instead gets called for a foul.
Locked arm in arm, so both Inyang and Elmore have 2 fouls. Freeman back in off the Tigers bench. Morgan driving right through the lane, off the mark, slapped off the glass by Blackshear. That doesn't fall either. Tigers trying to snap a scoring drought over 3 minutes. Only shooting 30% so far.
And you can tell a difference. Harris out of this game as their starting point guard. They're trying to figure out their offensive sets, and a travel call on that play.
And you can tell the Tigers are out of sorts without Harris.
Yeah.
And the Butler urging her team on. They start to extend their zone. Morgan has 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Seems like every single night Tonie Morgan is on triple-double watch. Lays it off for Blackshear. Puts the shoulder down, goes to work, misses, keeps the tap alive, trickles out. Who's got it? Johnson.
And that's the way to go hustle for the loose ball.
Yeah.
It seemed like Clemson players were just looking at it, and Sydney Johnson runs after it and able to regain the possession.
Jackets on a scoring drought of over 3 minutes. That three was blocked by Whitehorn. Augusta Naita did not fool her with the fake.
No, she didn't, but that was a great reach extension by Whitehorn to get a clean block.
Whitehorn is athletic, a former McDonald's All-American. Here she is on Augusta Naita. And 17 points, 14 of them in the second quarter versus Florida State. Draws one, Adanaz on the switch. Has the mismatch in low, Robinson turns, lays, scores, and a foul.
And they knew that from a mile away. Amari Robinson was calling for it and had the great positioning down low. Whitehorn gets the good read. Augusta Naita, I don't know what she was doing, a little out of position on that defensively, but that's an easy score and one for Robinson.
That is barbecue chicken, as they say. Augusta Naita's first. Albiance Carter takes her spot for the first time. That gives Amari Robinson 7. She had 26 in a win over the Yellow Jackets at Little John last year. Making her 136th career start at Clemson. Already holds the school record for most career games played. When Amanda Butler calls her elitely consistent, that's one of many reasons why, and Whitehorn gets the turnover. Whitehorn with the shake, with the shot, and she scores.
Woo. Hey, that girl can score right there. I mean, we know what she's capable of doing. Just a sophomore herself, a former McDonald's All-American, but she can score with the best of them.
Trying to stay in front of Johnson. Scoring drought over 4 minutes for the Jackets. They feed the baseline in Morgan.
That was a good backdoor slip by Morgan. Good read and find by Georgia Tech.
Normally it's Blackshear setting up, or Morgan setting up Blackshear, not the other way around. Blackshear shoots the gap, gets the turnover. Carter, Morgan, Blackshear. Tipped out of her hands, recovered by Carter. She's no good. Loose, and we have a foul called. We do. It's on Blackshear. Georgia Tech had a chance in transition there, but comes up empty.
And they have to score when they have those opportunities. Good job by Clemson to get back. I say Amani Robinson, after she had that turnover, was able to get back and defend in the paint.
Now it was Blackshear's first, team's third. Nia Valentine, the junior college transfer, and initiating for the Tigers. Georgia Tech switching every screen, which forces the guard Carter to defend Robinson in the post. Shot clock at 7. Kramer blitzed, gets it free to Whitehorn. The ball fake, the three. Back iron, rebound Carter. Makes Clemson 4 of 14 from 3. To come up on 1 minute to go in the half. Morgan in traffic. There's been some really good closeouts in the zone by Clemson.
It has. They've been getting out the shooters, making it difficult for Georgia Tech to shoot some outside shots.
Morgan, no good on the runner, but she draws the foul. But there's really not a three-point threat on the floor right now for the Jackets, but still, Tonie Morgan, just the slightest crease, and she will attack.
She will, and she's finding it. She's able to carve through that zone defense and get to the basket or find the open person. It's just unfortunate. When she's made some nice passes, the shooters just haven't been ready to shoot or reluctant to shoot it.
12 points, 5 assists for the sophomore Tonie Morgan out of Tallahassee, Florida. He's Take a look at what Morgan has done in the ACC, averaging a double-double. She is the only player found to rank in the top 10 in the ACC in both rebounds and assists per game.
Oh, that's pretty incredible. And she's just a sophomore. And, you know, we talked with Coach Fortner earlier, you know, for her to make those adjustments. She was a known scorer in high school and has come to college and had to be a point guard for this squad to make some adjustments, and has done very well in learning the game in this Georgia Tech system.
It's kind of odd to think somebody who's averaging 5 assists per game needs to be more unselfish.
Right.
But that was the assessment of Nell Fortner. As Georgia Tech can milk the clock for all intents and purposes, will be the last possession of the half. They're led by 6 at the end of 1, up by 9. Valentine shadowing Morgan. Shot clock at 6. Dishes in low. Blackshear. Morgan, shot clock at 1. Does she get it off in time? It draws rim. Oh, ball is still loose. Georgia Tech doesn't realize it. Oh, it could have been a putback attempt by Blackshear.
Yeah, always know that clock, game clock situations.
Yeah, Georgia Tech thought there was a shot clock violation. I think Clemson did too.
Everybody stopped playing. That was a weird ending to the first half.
Yeah, awkward end to the half, but Georgia Tech heads into the locker room up by 9 over the Tigers.
Need Harris in this game if they want to get a road victory. And like you said, hopefully she can get it going in this second half. I mean, this third quarter, I think, is the most important quarter of a basketball game. See who can take advantage of this quarter and get the momentum.
Clemson basketball to begin the second half. Off the curl, Kramer the 3. Trying to splay her legs out and get the call. Clemson will keep possession. Mackenzie Kramer also tied for team high honors with 8 in the first half.
And we see Kramer can score anywhere on the floor. She made some nice moves, had a nice 2-point jumper in that first half, and she can definitely shoot the 3 ball.
Second in the Patriot League in scoring last season. She can score on the dribble drive as well.
There we go. It's the first time we've seen her take it all the way to the basket. Gets the wide open lane and a nice finish.
Yeah, designed action off the baseline out of bounds. Both teams had to weather some scoring droughts in that second quarter. Now Dunn, first touch, a 3, and it's out off the mark. Harris. Dumping underneath Robinson through 2 defenders.
And that's a
promising
good
start for the Tigers.
That's a good find. Sometimes it's not always about trying to get scoring or get points early, but a good job by Harris to penetrate and find Robinson for the lay-in.
Earlier this year, Daishanette Harris had the first point assist double-double to Clemson since 2007. Noedo from the corner splashes down the 3.
And she was quiet in the first half. You know, she had a solid defensive first half, but scoring, we didn't see much of that, and she gets on the board finally with 2.
Noedo was 3 of 3 from 3 against Pittsburgh on Sunday. That was her first pull from deep, and it was pure.
It was.
Jackets by 8. And Whitehorn lost it into the hands of Dunn. Dunn straight through the lane for 2.
Yeah, you got to get in front of her. That's too much lane space, too much clearance. She's able to finish at the rim.
What's that rule number 1? A transition defense, stop the ball handler.
Right.
Dunn has 4. Matches the Yellow Jackets' largest lead. Entry to Robinson, grinding across the lane, off the mark on Blackshear, but they will call the foul on Dunn, and an early 3rd foul on Kara Dunn.
Not a good thing, but I think Coach Fortner is going to give her a little time. But we see this defense. Whitehorn gets too deep. Dunn gets the steal and takes it coast to coast for the lay-in. Kramer's too late, and she gets 2 on the board.
Now Fortner is still trusting Kara Dunn to stay on and avoid that 4th foul. An easy bucket once again. 37-29. Warren Adanaz reporting to the scorers table. Morgan draws 2. Augusta Naita with the skip to Dunn. The 1 more to Noedo. Long on that 3. Dunn, tightrope in the baseline. Keeps it feet in bounds. Now Morgan drops it off to Dunn. And you know, when you've been on the bench for so long with fouls, it's hard sometimes to calibrate that shot. Maybe seeing that from Dunn. Here's Kramer for 3. Rims it no. Good clear out by Blackshear. Dunn leaking out behind the defense. Misses the layup. Grabs her own, though. And sticks it in.
And that's poor transition defense from Clemson. You can't have Kira Dunn missing a layup like that and getting her own rebound in the putback, but applaud her for staying with it after she had that miss and able to finish.
Jeanette Harris did all she could to try to affect that shot.
She had no help.
After Dunn missed, nobody was hustling back. Robinson barreling into the lane, too smooth.
I'm telling you, she's one-on-one in the lane. That's probably 90% of the time a bucket for Clemson.
Second in the ACC in field goal percentage. Morgan rearranging her body around Elmore, doesn't get it to fall, and the ball goes to Clemson.
And you see right here, Robinson is going to work on Blackshear. You know, gets her positioning, her footwork, and gets to the spot she wants to get in the lane and is able to finish.
She was second team All-ACC a year ago. Opted to play her additional COVID year with the Tigers. 6 games of 20 or more points this year. She's got a dozen. Kramer peels around the Elmore screen.
Georgia Tech in this man-to-man, but switching.
Whitehorn gets it wedged. Possession gives it to Tech.
And that was good defense by Morgan, continuing to move her feet without fouling and forcing Whitehorn into a tough shot that gets stuck in between the rim and the backboard.
It hasn't been a prolific offensive night either for Ruby Whitehorn. Makes her now 3 of 9. Jackets lead by 8. Dunn, mid-range, good.
And that's sometimes all you need to see. We said earlier she was having a tough time getting back into a rhythm from being cold on the bench, but she looked good on that last shot.
And that's the spot against Clemson's zone where I think Georgia Tech most felt the absence of Kira Dunn because of her touch from 15 feet.
Right.
Robinson with the spin, flips it no, but draws the foul on Wonatanaz.
Right now, Robinson's trying to go to work. She's trying to put this team on her back and see what she can make happen. They've been struggling to score baskets, but to start the second half, Robinson has been pretty consistent.
First foul on Wonatanaz, second of the quarter against Tech. Last homecoming game for Amari Robinson, 12 points and 6 rebounds for the native of Douglasville, Georgia. She's an 81% free throw shooter. Was there any doubt that she would bring the hometown cheering section to McCamish?
No, no. I mean, they're here in support, but, you know, she's just been a stellar leader and player for this Clemson program during her tenure, and she just consistently has improved each season, and we're just seeing it again.
With those 2 free throws, has moved into a tie for 5th place in school history and career points. Morgan off the mark. He can slice and dice his zone. Can't get the finish there. Crouch working the pick and roll. High wire in the baseline, shoots it out to Whitehorn. Clean look at a 3, and it's good.
And that 3 ball looked pretty going up. Nothing but bottoms for Whitehorn. And
meanwhile, Rouch and Elmore collided with each other after that 3. Broken floor opportunity. The Jackets can't cash in, though.
Yeah, that would have been a big-time opportunity, 5 on 3.
5-point game. The sidestep, Kramer to make it a 2-point game. And Nell Fordner is up off the bench. She wants time. It's an 8-0 Clemson run. And down to a 2-point deficit. Consecutive 3s by Whitehorn and Kramer. Well, a Clemson team not deterred from deep. And getting that 3-ball working to begin the 3rd quarter. 41-39 Tech. Halftime down to 2. Nell Fordner trying to reignite the Yellow Jackets offense. Just 4 of 12 in the 3rd quarter, Fallon. What do you think you get it going?
Well, I think they just need to push the basketball in tempo. You know, Clemson's going to play that zone, and in the first half, Tonie Morgan did a great job of penetrating, finding open people. Sometimes that shot didn't fall, but it gave her an opportunity to get to the rim, get an opening, or find her open teammate for a shot. And we haven't seen that in this second half. Clemson doing a nice job defensively and currently on an 8-0 run.
Morgan loads up the screen from Ward Onanaz. Trying to shrug off Harris, who jammed a hand in, draws the foul. Seemed like it was well defended. Might have gotten a little bit of forearm. It's a third on Harris, and it sends Morgan to the line.
And that was a good decision. Morgan saw she had Harris in a one-on-one situation in that zone and took advantage, able to draw a foul. And Harris has struggled in this one. She's still trying to find or gather herself in this game and probably just need to slow down and just play.
Morgan was 4 of 4 from the line against Pittsburgh, makes her 4 of 4 tonight. Stamps that 8-0 Clemson run, like you said. Hit her career high 12 assists against Clemson last year. Gets a breather. The graduate transfer Sydney Johnson taking her spot. Only the first foul of the quarter against the Tigers. This Tech stretches the lead to 4. Kramer turns the corner. Off to Valentine. She fumbles the catch and loses it in the corner.
And that's tough. She had a wide open look. I think her eyes got big before she got the basketball because Johnson was a little late in recovering. But it works out for Tech, and they get the ball back.
I can't fault Nia Valentine. She's 44% from 3. Always ready to shoot. Turnover is Clemson's 10th. Georgia Tech has only committed 4, so they haven't really beaten themselves, Fallon, against the Clemson zone. Dueto almost throws that away. Cycled around to Augusta Naita, trying to beat Whitehorn baseline. Whitehorn gets a piece, pulls it away. That is textbook baseline dribble drive defense by Whitehorn.
Yeah, that was a great job out of sophomore.
She is really sinewy. Runs off the screen, finger rolls it, no. Tapped on the run to Johnson. Rouch and Kramer are back. Augusta Naita has it stolen right back by Whitehorn. She's got Elmore behind the defense. Elmore striding in, lays it up and scores. Dueling turnovers, and it's down to a 2-point game again.
And Georgia Tech has to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Augusta Naita, she just made that pass, and as soon as she released it, knew it was a bad one. And it worked out for Clemson.
Well, Augusta Naita is really comfortable shooting that 3 in rhythm in transition, but got tentative there.
She did.
Turned into a turnover. Tough catch at the finish by Blackshear.
And that was a good pass, good lead pass by Johnson to Blackshear, setting her up for that lay-in.
Where that experience off the bench comes into play. Sydney Johnson, former All-Patriot League performer at Boston University. Another All-Patriot League player, Mackenzie Kramer, throws away the pick-and-roll pass.
Yeah, Kramer was getting a little fancy. We hadn't seen that from her this evening. We've seen the shots, but not the passing. Turns into a turnover.
A little bit of sauce on that bounce.
Yeah, I don't think Robinson was ready for it, but it was a good idea.
Augusta Naita comes out. Dunn comes back in. Kara Dunn just has struggled to find her rhythm tonight because of the foul trouble. She's got 8 points. 3 consecutive 20-point games. Dueto trying to split traffic. Recovered by Blackshear. Here's Dueto open for 3. Could have been a big one. Rebounded by the Tigers. Dueto 1 of 4 from deep.
And we know she's still struggling with that arm injury.
Yeah, she's wearing her that elbow brace. Didn't affect her against Pittsburgh. We know that. Kramer trying to get rid of her off the screen. Off the mark. And over the end line, Georgia Tech ball.
And really, Clemson has thrown some punches in this third quarter, but you got to applaud Georgia Tech. They have withstood the punches and still have been able to maintain this lead with 2 of their starters, leading scorers, on the bench.
And for the majority of Nell Fortner's tenure in Atlanta, their identity was through their defense. And sometimes with how much more productive they've been on offense, you neglect the fact that they can be a tough team to score against.
Right.
Whitehorn finds Robinson in the corner. Rounded out, rebound Dueto.
There's some battling going down low between Onanaz and Inyang.
And One Ananas here for her board work. Still a 4-point game. Final minute of the third quarter. Dueto to Dunn. And on the rip through, draws the foul. No, it's a travel on Dunn.
Yeah, it's been difficult ever since she was on the bench with the foul trouble. She hasn't been able to get her rhythm. Maybe she can get something cooking in the fourth.
One more look. Seemed to get that ball hung up on her side.
That was close. I guess, yeah, it was a close call.
Robinson is a rugged defender. The Tigers can hold for the final possession of the quarter. They trailed by 9 at the break. It closed to within 2. Harris taps out the dribble. Morgan ready for her. Puts her shoulder down, attacks, banks, no. And last off the Tigers with 3.3 ticks left.
And that was good defense by Tonie Morgan. She was expecting that move. Kind of limping a little bit, Morgan is. But solid D to get a stop for Georgia Tech.
Tilt to come off, might just be a cramp for Morgan. Johnson comes in and takes her spot. Johnson launches from midcourt. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter.
And I'm sure Coach Butler was not expecting that. You know, she's currently averaging 18 points a game in ACC play.
Coming off 20 against Florida State. She's been handcuffed by foul trouble. The entry to Robinson got the seal on Blackshear. Give her 2 and give her a foul as well.
That's big time work by Amari Robinson. I mean, like I said, she will put this team on her back. You see the positioning. She was asking for it, was ready, knew she had the step on Blackshear, and is able to finish and draw the foul.
Her post positioning is so good. You could tell the moment she catches it, she has her defender pinned. Now, 4th in school history in career scoring. Give another to her tally. It's a 1-point game. Like we said, Clemson's last lead was 9-8 midway through the first quarter. Morgan is on the bench to begin our final quarter. Houston Knights is scoreless after halftime. Here's Dunn. The reverse, sticks it in. Tough finish around the 6'3" Michaela Elmore.
I know. That was a big-time finish, and that's someone that I know Coach Butler does not want to see going in this fourth.
Dunn might be bottled up through 3, but you never feel good. You somehow muster double figures with 10. Johnson almost got the steal, and now prized out of the hands of Rouch. On the run, feeds Dueto. Dueto with the lay-in.
And that's the way Georgia Tech can get baskets. We haven't seen a lot of transition points from them this evening, but that's a key, a way to get easy buckets without allowing Clemson to set up that zone.
Quick hands by the veteran Sydney Johnson. 5-point Georgia Tech lead. Rouch wants the entry. Robinson grinding away with Blackshear. Whitehorn gets the step and banks it in.
That was a good job by Whitehorn. She saw she had the baseline, especially the work that Blackshear was putting in trying to defend Robinson, and gets the lay-in.
Her season high was 20 against Mississippi State. Now chasing on Dueto. The entry to Blackshear. Dunn tight ropes the baseline. Another reverse by Dunn.
That's just too slow. That's a mismatch every time with Roche on Dunn, and she knew it, read it, and finished.
You can't give up the baseline a second straight time. Robinson draws 2. Trying to throw to a cutter. Elmore plows over a yellow jacket, and they call the foul on Elmore as Dueto took the charge.
And I think it's that elbow in the process. He's holding on to it. But she's a tough player. Dueto does the intangibles for this Tech team, especially defensively, and standing up there and taking the hit. Big time play.
Yeah, her elbow took the brunt of it, like you said, but she anticipated that Elmore would fill the lane. Dunn on Robinson. Oh, what a finish.
That's big time. That's big time. That's Dunn telling you that she's ready to take over this one for Georgia Tech. And that's 3 straight buckets for the sophomore. We see her just going to work, and she's putting her body on Robinson, something we've been seeing Robinson do all night. And she gets the and one at the basket.
Up with force for the sophomore, Dunn. She's got 6 already in the quarter. And with the free throw, Tech extends the lead to 8.
But I like it. Tonie Morgan on the bench. Dunn's like, no worries, I got this.
Harris around the stagger, rise and fire. Still looking for her first points. Augusta Knight sweeps away the board for Tech. Clemson had crept so close. Georgia Tech getting some distance. They leave Blackshear free, and she rims it in.
They did. It looked like Clemson had the momentum. We saw that big play by Amari Robinson in the paint with the and one, and Tech has just taken over and gone on a big-time run of their own.
7 points in the span of 59 seconds. And
picked up her third, but she came in this fourth on a tear with Tonie Morgan on the bench. And it's been a scoring machine for Georgia Tech, a big reason they have this 10-point lead.
And a tough finish, out-muscling Amari Robinson there. Dunn only 8 points in the first 3 quarters, 7. And helping Georgia Tech out to a 10-point lead when the deficit was cut to 4 to begin the quarter. And Robinson takes a hit from behind on Blackshear.
Hey, they've been battling all night long, and Blackshear's here for the challenge. Tonie Morgan, Robinson, she's not an easy player to defend, and she's just been getting positioning all night, finding her spots on the floor. Blackshear's had her work cut out for her, but she's done a solid job.
Kramer lines it up, knocks it down. That was a bucket they badly needed. Kramer's up to 16.
Man, that shot looks so pure. When she comes off that screen, she's ready to let it go. A quick release.
Pure water by the native of Minnesota. Her 4th 3 of the night. Johnson with her first 3-point try of the night. That's no good.
But I'm glad she shot it. She's wide open. She has to take that shot.
Now Johnson runs right into Freeman, and the foul call.
And we see Clemson comes out of that timeout, ready to set up a play for Kramer. Wide open, late recovery by Blackshear, and she gets nothing but bottoms.
Just a little pin down screen.
Yeah.
Augusta Knight got caught in the wash. Robinson throws to the baseline. Freeman off the mark. Whitehorn the rebound, the stick, and the foul. Augusta Knight had the inside position, but Whitehorn just outworked her.
Yeah, Augusta Knight, the last 2 plays, has been caught sleeping. The last on that screen, Kramer hit a big 3, and this one, you gotta box out. You gotta find Whitehorn because she's going to the basket for the offensive board and put back.
Whitehorn with a chance to make it a 4-point deficit again.
This team is just gritty. They're gonna keep fighting to the end. Nothing easy.
Now, something Nell Fortner told us at shoot-around, she described the Tigers as feisty, as scrappy, so you never feel comfortable no matter the margin of lead. Morgan is back in. Saw Morgan take over down the stretch in Georgia Tech's home win versus Virginia last week. Dunn's had the hot hand in the 4th quarter. Down to a cutting Noeto, slipping through. Oh, misses the layup.
Man, that was such a tough pass and an even better catch by Noeto, and she just could not finish.
Harris for 3. Rebound, jousted for, controlled by Noeto. Almost throws it away, saved by Johnson. Oh, no, she was on the sideline.
Yeah, that was a tough call. Tough pass by Noeto. Johnson was trying to save it. Tiptoeing that sideline. Let's see it.
Hard to tell from that angle, but referee Carla Fountain was right on it.
She was, and she was straight in the opposite direction. Like, I'm not changing my mind.
6-0 Clemson run and the chance to build on it. Kramer jams around the screen. The swing to Whitehorn. Blanketed, and she throws it away.
And that really hurt Noreto's arm. She got hit right in it, but her defense the last couple of possessions have been incredible.
And Blackshear swishes the foul line jumper. Trailing the play, cashing it in. Yeah, Noeto's really made her impact felt on the defensive end.
She has.
Robinson goes to work on Blackshear, almost poked away from behind. Very dangerous because Morgan vacated Kramer in the process, and that shot falls from Harris, her first basket of the night.
Man, the hot step faked out Johnson because she got out of the way and just gave Harris an open lane.
Day Harris had missed her first 4 from the floor. Makes it a 4-point game. 4.5 to go. Pass out top, tipped and stolen. Fast break, Harris. Harris! And it's a 2-point game. We talked about Kara Dunn coming to life in the fourth quarter. Same could be said now for Harris.
Yeah, that's 2 buckets in a row. And that's probably just going to make her eyes even larger to looking at the basket.
And now a charge called on Morgan. It was Harris making life difficult for Morgan.
And that was good defense. That's a good call. Harris got the step. Tonie Morgan thought she had it. Harris continued to move her feet and gets the call.
And also the 5th foul of the quarter against Tech. Morgan comes out. Augusta Knighta takes her spot. Since Amanda Butler called that timeout foul, and it's a 10-2 Clemson run. And searching for their first lead since the first quarter. Harris with the spin, the jump pass, the 3 for the lead. So close. Blackshear the rebound, the misses from Elmore.
Man, so close.
Clemson has had several opportunities in the second half to tie or take the lead.
And just has not capitalized.
Blackshear gets to her step and lays it in. Off the dish from Augusta Knighta. Ayla Blackshear nearing a double-double. That gives her 12 and 8. 3.5 to go. Harris off the DHO. Kramer now. Tough finishes.
That was a tough shot. And all Dunn could do was just keep her hands up because she didn't want to pick up her 4th. But that was a great finish by Kramer.
Both teams are shooting the rock in this fourth quarter. Tech is 7 of 9. Clemson 7 of 11. Augusta Knighta is hemmed in. Recess to Johnson. Augusta Knighta, first points of the second half. And it comes at a crucial time.
That's huge. That's huge. All the work Clemson's been doing. Still a lot of time in this game.
Pass across the paint, tipped and stolen. Harris a little out of control on that penetration. It's a 15th Clemson turnover. Entry, Dunn, underneath, no good. Rebound Blackshear. It's recovered by Dunn. Did she dribble it off her foot? She does.
Moving too fast. There was a lot of time on that clock. Tech probably could have just thrown it back out to reset, regroup. Dunn had 2 down low on her when she had that ball and couldn't make it happen that time.
It's still a 5-point game, 2:25 to go.
I mean, this is a battle. This is what the ACC is all about. It's competitive, night in, night out. You don't know who you're playing against. Anyone can win.
Clemson has been resilient in the second half, but it has not yet resulted in a lead. Kramer, a 1-dribble 3. Front iron. Everybody crashing to contest. Dunn clears it. Augusta Knighta between the legs, almost lost the handle.
And that was the right call, Johnson. Pull it back out. Let's slow down. They have the lead, and they have the clock.
Johnson gets a step. Dunn with a shot clock at 11. Harris tightens up on Augusta Knighta. A 3 from deep, and it doesn't draw anything.
You see Coach Fortner like, what was that?
Yeah.
She's
sometimes
not
you gotta do what you gotta do with that shot clock winding down, but
I mean,
Georgia Tech got the basket there. Could have really, if not been the kill shot.
This whole arena.
Elmore fakes the handoff. Kramer's been a tough cover in this second half. Dunn has her on the switch. Tries to rope it over. The shovel to Robinson. In traffic with the left, no good. Rebound to Weddle.
That was big time defense from Tech. The collapse on Robinson make that shot difficult.
1:11 to play. Maybe the last possession Clemson can play straight up as Nell Forder calls timeout.
And that was a good call.
And both teams making it a battle of attrition down the stretch. Nell Forder's team trying to earn a 3rd straight ACC win. 63-58. Yellow Jackets lead it. Don't go anywhere.
We love our house.
Great location, quiet street.
The garage is a bit of a black hole.
Yeah, everything disappears in it.
She'll be back.
Hun, we gotta clean this place out.
See my winter coat in there? You can't hear me.
Ugh, the coat is hideous.
Oh, my summer jams mix.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy. Saves us a ton. You find my box of cords?
Okay, honey, throw me the hose.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Herbie.
Yellow Jackets a 63-58 lead over the Tigers, trying to hang on their home floor. We had noted in the open battle, Georgia Tech's leading scorers on the year. And no surprise, all four of them in double figures tonight. Tonie Morgan, 16 points, but it was the work of Dunn that set the tone early in the fourth quarter.
It did, because Tonie Morgan was on the bench, you know, and Dunn just stepped up. She hit some big buckets, was aggressive in this fourth quarter to set the tone for Georgia Tech offensively. And they've hit some bumps. It hasn't gone as well as Coach Fortner probably would want, but they still have a 5-point lead with a little over a minute left in this one.
What does the head coach of the Yellow Jackets draw up out of the timeout? Clemson has been clawing, scratching, doing everything they can to level this game out. And twice made it a 2-point game inside of 5 minutes. They tried to trap the inbound, and the steal by Whitehorn. She's off to the races. Whitehorn with a Euro step in the lane.
That's a big-time play. Big-time play.
Yeah, makes it a 3-point game. Ruby Whitehorn. Where would Clemson be without her contributions in the second half? Dunn above the foul line. Penetrates, raises up, banks it in. Over Robinson.
I'll say big-time play for big-time play.
Ooh.
That's showing Dunn is a different player this season for Georgia Tech.
5-point game again. Give Dunn 17. Whitehorn slicing on Noedo. Off the mark, rebound Blackshear. Amanda Butler calling for her team to foul. 22 seconds left, and there's the foul on Augusta Knight. Oh, Whitehorn just couldn't get the roll.
And these teams have battled. You see Whitehorn on the floor, exhausted. Dunn, I mean, against Amari Robinson, and we talk about she is the leader for Clemson and just takes it on her shoulders, Dunn, and gets a bucket for Tech.
That was only the third foul of the quarter against Clemson. So still work to be done. There's another foul. 21.9 seconds left. Dunn, 9 fourth quarter points, just like that, Fallon. She's exceeded her season average.
I know.
When you just, Dunn maybe was fighting those thoughts with that foul trouble throughout the first half of the third quarter. This might not be my night.
No, that's what it was looking like. And 8 of 14 from the field, shooting a high percentage. She has put on a show in this fourth quarter and shown why she is the go-to player for this Georgia Tech ball club.
And Clemson, on its 5th foul, sends the freshman Rusna Augusta Naita to the foul line. And maybe the biggest basket of this fourth quarter was from Rusna Augusta Naita on that 3-pointer to give Georgia Tech the 5-point lead again. It's been a struggle from the floor for the freshman from Lithuania. These will be her first free throws, where she's 67%. Georgia Tech 6 of 7 at the line tonight. Free throw no good.
And these free throws are important. You have to close out games, especially in the ACC.
Yes, the second makes it a 6-point game. Clemson calls timeout to advance the ball. Not only the timeout to advance it into the front court, but no doubt Amanda Butler wanted Mackenzie Kramer back on.
Oh, no, definitely so. But I love that part of the women's game now, that they can advance the basketball with the timeout, because it makes the game so much more competitive.
Oh, yeah.
And when we see this game, it's just a 6-point lead that Georgia Tech has, but it's plenty of time left in this one for Clemson to try and make something happen.
Kramer leads the way with 18 points. She's 4 of 10 from 3. Amari Robinson, 17 points, 10 rebounds on a night where she moved into 4th in school history in career points. Another double-double for the graduate student from Douglasville, Georgia. Ruby Whitehorn as well, 17. Quick three, you think? Also, Maddie Ott is out.
Maddie Ott is out. Three-point shooter for them. I think a quick three will do it. If they can't get it, they need to go to the rim quickly to get a quick two and maybe get an and one. But
Valentine is also out there. She's a 44% three-point shooter, and even though she's had minimal minutes tonight, she will raise up for a three. Rolls off, rebound Dunn. 16 seconds to go, and she's fouled. That was a pretty good look from Valentine.
That was. And the shot didn't look bad. She just couldn't connect. And Amanda Butler is probably happy with that play. It was ran, and she got the ball in one of her shooter's hands for a look.
This game is a testament to Kara Dunn's mental toughness, because even the best scorers just cannot seem to get in rhythm when they've been negotiating foul trouble. But when her team needed her, trying to ward off every challenge from Clemson in the fourth quarter,
right,
the sophomore has delivered.
Yeah,
certainly be in the conversation for ACC most improved player.
Sure, and that's what Coach Fortner talked about, you know, this team being young, or at least the leaders of this team being very young. The maturation stages, if it's going to Tonie Morgan, Kara Dunn, we see a huge difference from a season ago of what they've learned and how they've matured and improved their games.
Connects on them both. 8-point Tech lead. Harris has to hurry. Warded off by Blackshear. Here is a three. No good from Ott. Harris flies in for the rebound. In low to Robinson. Two more for her, but time running out on the Tigers. Amanda Butler calls time before the inbound. Are they going to grant her the timeout? I think they will, but only for a substitution. And now Fortner, I think, will use her timeout so she can advance it.
That's smart, because it looked like Clemson was about to set up a full court press and give Coach Fortner an opportunity to set something up and get Tonie Morgan back in the game.
4.8 seconds remaining, 68-62. This was not a game, I think, Fallon, that Georgia Tech could have closed out last year. But they have some tough customers.
Yeah, they do.
Lineup.
We see a difference. Even, you know, when you say who they've played against in the league, it hadn't been the top tier teams yet, but they've competed, and they don't look like a 12 pick in the ACC the way they've started the ACC this season. But you have to win these games, because it's critical when you come towards the middle of the pack, middle of the ACC, and towards the end. These are going to be relevant and big wins for Georgia Tech if they can get this one.
Tonie Morgan had 14 points in the first half, only 2 in the second. Inbound to Gusta Naita. She will drive to the hole and lay it in. And that'll put the icing on a victory for Georgia Tech tonight. It was a gutty effort in the second half by Clemson. Now Fortner's team had to fight off a number of charges laid into them by the